Have you ever wondered why some people are so good and so clever in what they're doing? Maybe there are some people who are studying with you, maybe some people who are in your workspace. There are some people who are very clever and very capable of doing in their profession. Okay, they are very successful in it. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind this success? Well, if we can define success in one word, the only word that we can find is consistency. This quality is very important for all of our lives. Not only in your day-to-day life, not only in your career, but also in your spiritual path. Okay? If someone is practicing spiritual path, consistency is the key for success. Okay? Now, what do you mean by consistency? Consistency means doing something every single day or without stopping for a long period of time until you get better at it. Now, if we look at our life, there are some bad habits we all have in our life. Okay? Why we are so good at these bad things? The reason behind why we are so good at bad things is we have done it for a long period of time every single day without stopping. That is the nature of our mind, and that is the nature of our life. Whether it is good or bad, if we are doing it consistently, or if we are doing it over and over for a long period of time, we get so good at it. That is why we are so good at distractions. That is why we are so good at anger, jealousy, and all these evil thoughts in our mind, because we have practiced it over a long period of time. Now, Buddha said, if you need to cultivate wholesome thoughts, and if you need to be successful in your spiritual life, what are you going to do? You have to cultivate and you have to practice these wholesome thoughts or wholesome activities for a long period of time without stopping. Okay? Every single day. Okay? Let's keep the spiritual life for a part. Let's take the studying and education. Now, if you're someone who is studying, and if you're someone who is focused on education, what do you have to do? You have to keep studying, okay? Sometimes you find very difficult and very challenging to keep studying. Why? Because our mind gets distracted, okay? Sometimes we lose our focus. Now, in that time, so many of people, they complain that I cannot study. Okay, I'm distracting always. What is the reason? Why? What is the problem with me? Well, the only problem behind the failure or the unsuccessfulness is lack of consistency. Sometimes we try to study and then we feel tired and we feel less focused and then we give up. Okay, and then after maybe like 2-3 days, again we try to study and then again the same thing happen and then we give up. Okay. In that way, you're not going to be successful, okay? If you want to be successful in any field of your life, maybe studying, maybe in your meditations, maybe in your spiritual life, maybe in kindness, maybe cultivating compassion in your life, what do you have to do? You have to be consistent. That is the only way to be successful in anything. I can still remember when we came to become monks, okay? On the first day, our monks gave this first advice to us. That is, they said that it takes several minutes to become a monk physically. Okay? It takes a few minutes to make your body a monk. But it takes years and years, maybe lifetime, to be a monk from your mind. You will fail, you will be unsuccessful in some parts in your life, but you have to keep going. Do not ever quit. That is the first advice that we were given. So, to be good at anything, to be successful, to be happy, to be successful in your spiritual life, to practice meditations, to be good at that, what are you going to do? Keep doing it every single day. That is the thing. But there's a problem. The real problem or the real enemy for the consistency is the higher expectations. We set a lot of high expectations in our life, and when we are not able to get it, we give up. That is the only thing. Now, so many people come to me and complain that I cannot meditate for 1 hour. What is the problem with me? I cannot focus for 1 hour. Well, in the beginning, no one can do that. Okay, there may be some few lucky people in this world. Okay, they can concentrate instantly. But if you want to be good at in your meditations, in your focusing and your concentration power, what do you want to do? Keep doing it. Okay, do not set high expectations. Right? Aim for the little achievements. Maybe like you can focus and you can think like before you are starting meditation, you can think, well, if my mind became concentrated or well focused only for 1 minute, that's okay. I'm happy with that 1 minute. Okay? When you focus on that, you can easily achieve it. You can do that. When you achieve it, you feel a sense of happiness in your life. You feel like you achieved that target. So in the next day, when you meditate, maybe you can focus your mind or you can concentrate your mind for 2 minutes. Okay? So if you keep on focusing on little achievements and without having high expectations in your life in the first time, then you will be good at maintaining your consistency. Because sometimes when we don't see results, okay, when we don't get results quickly as we want, we just give up. That is the biggest problem in our minds. Okay, to be successful, you need to spend a period of time that you are not seeing the results. Okay, one day I was climbing, and in Sri Lanka we have a nice mountain where we climb to see the Buddha's footprint. Okay, that is called Adam's Peak or the Sri Pada in Sri Lanka. So once we were climbing, we could not see the mountain top. We don't know where we are going. Okay, so one monk said to me, it doesn't matter, you cannot see where you are going, but if you're clear in your next step, take that step. Okay, and if you're in the correct path, no matter how fast or slow you go, you will go to your destination that you want to go. So always remember that it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you are moving towards success. The most important thing is that whether you are going to do it every single day in the correct way or not. So remember, consistency is the key for success for anything. So keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep doing the good works that you're doing, even if you don't see the results in your life. Keep doing it, and one day I'm very sure that you will achieve your goals definitely. So keep that in your mind. May you be happy and well. Namo Buddhaya. One of our viewers have asked from us a question that how can I practice letting go in my life? How can I practice the ability of letting go in my life? So this special video is dedicated for him as well as for all of you who have the same question within yourself. We need to realize a real reality in our life to have this ability in our lives. And that is, the whole world is out of our control. First of all, you need to realize that. The whole world that you live in, this around you, is out of your control. People, situations, experiences, and other people's opinions, the things, all the things are out of your control. Remember that. Is that true? Yes. Now, when you take people, can you control people according to all the wishes that you have? No. Can you control the situations that you face in the future? No, you don't know about that. Right? Can you control the experiences that you face in the future? You cannot do that. And also, can you control the things around you according to your wish? No, you cannot control that for 100%, right? So, first of all, you need to realize this real truth. The whole world is out of our control. But there is something that is within our control. What is that? That is our reaction towards them, our response towards those experiences. Right? So that is what in your control. Right? So normally, it is very hard to let go of the things or the people from our lives, because there is a nature of our mind that it has the clinging effect. Our mind likes to grasp the things and the people and the experience that we see. That is what we call the upadana. Supreme Buddha said, Yankinchi dukkhang sambhoti sabbang upadana pacchaya. If there is any suffering which arises in our life, that is because of the clinging of our mind towards them. Right? Now, it is very hard to let go of the anger. Right? It is very hard to let go of the sadness. Right? Now, people would like to let go of the hard situations in their life. Right? But our mind is not ready for that. There's a special effect that it always wanders in those difficult situations, sad situations, in anger and evil thoughts. Right? It is very hard to let go of those things. But remember, all the things that we experience in this world, all the people that we meet in this world, right? All the things that we have in this world, one day we have to let go of these things. Even though we cannot let go of the things today, one day, at the end of our life, we have to say goodbye to all these things. Right? But there is something that we take from this life. What is that? The things that we did according to those stimulations. Our reactions towards those experiences. Our reactions towards those people. So, if we collect that karma, right, that is the only thing that we can take from this life. That is the thing that only we own in this life. So, we have to remember, first of all, that the world is out of our control. Right? Things may fade away from our life. People may fade away from our life. And also, if you are going through a hard situation, difficult situations, remember, it will also fade away from your life, because everything in this world is impermanent. Nothing is there is permanent. Right? Nothing is permanent. Not even your problems. And also, remember, not even your sweet memories, sweet times, beautiful times. Everything is impermanent. So when the things are fading away from our life, right? When the people are walking away from our life, do not hold on to them. The problem we suffer is that we are holding on to those things. Right? The more we hold on to things, the more we will suffer. Right? The more we hold on to the things, the more we will suffer. Right? It is like you are keeping a red-hot iron ball on your palm. Right? The more you hold on to that iron ball, that red-hot iron ball, remember, you are the one who is getting hurt. You are the one who is suffering. But if you let go of that, you are not suffering anymore. So what you have to do is realize the reality of impermanence. Every person, everything, every experience, every situation is impermanent. So when those things are being impermanent, you can be happy by seeing the reality because you have expected that thing in your life, because you know that these things are impermanent in my life, right? When the things are fading away, just don't hold on to them. Let them fade away. Let them go away, right? Don't hold on. The more you hold on, the more you will suffer. So that is how we let go of the things in our life, right? If you let go of the things, when the things are walking away from our life, you can be happy, right? You can be positive always. And you can maintain your inner peace within you. So don't hold on to things, don't hold on to anger, don't hold on to people, because everything is impermanent in this world. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another Q&A video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the fear of failure and how to deal with it. Did you know that the majority of the people who fail in their life challenges fail because of this fear of failure? So we're going to find a solution and how to deal with it. First of all, we have to realize that failure is a part of life, right? It is with the life. It comes with the life. And fearing the failure, this fear that arises inside our mind, it's an emotion. So these are two different things. Let's talk about the failure. Failure, you cannot avoid it. It's a worldly condition. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, said there are 8 worldly conditions in this world. From time to time, you have to go through these 8 worldly conditions. So what are these 8 worldly conditions? Buddha explained: pleasure, pain, blame, praise, disrepute, fame, gain, loss. These things are the 8 worldly conditions, right? So these things change time to time. From time to time, these things comes to our life, and we have to go through these things. So you cannot avoid the failure. Sometimes you get what you want. Sometimes you don't get what you want. So we have to find a way to deal with it. One thing that you have to realize is, when you fear the failure more and more, there will be more chances for you to fail. That is a law in this nature. That is a law for our mind, right? The more you fear, the more you fail. Keep that in your mind, right? So that means when you fear too much, you're running out of your plans. You're not thinking about your plans, and you're just sticking to that emotion of fear, and you're not going to take the risks, and you're not going to take that next step. So fearing the failure, this fear is the thing that holds you back from the success. Realize it. So what we can do with this fear when it comes to our mind? Of course, we can use our fear to our success. How? So if you are afraid of failure, then you can be well prepared, right? Then you have to think, oh, I'm afraid of failing, so I must come up with a plan, and I must work my plan. So in that way, you can use this emotion to your own success. And there's another thing. You have to learn how to keep your expectations moderate. Not too high, not too low, but in the middle way, in the moderate state. How do we keep it? Do not think of yourself that I'm going to be the perfect in this world. I'm going to be the best in this world. Of course you can be the best, but not for a long time. It is also impermanent. And also, don't think about yourself like, I'm not good enough, I cannot do it, I'm not going to make it.
Don't think about yourself negatively. Instead, keep your expectations moderate. How? I will do my best. If you are facing an exam, all right, if you are fearing about it, you have to think, I will do my best, right? I'm not going to be the best, but I can do my best. I can become the best version of myself, right? That is why I am trying for this. You have to think about that again and again. When you think about that, you're trying to give the best of yourself. You're trying to come up with a better plan, and you're trying to work that plan. When you keep your expectations too high, you have to set and make some unrealistic plans, right, which are not going to work. When you keep your expectations very low, you're not going to come up with a plan actually, because you're thinking lowly about yourself, right? So keep your expectations in moderate way. Then you will feel less fear. And I must say, every one of us feel this fear. It's a common mental condition, right? And also, every one of us fail. It's also a common worldly condition. Do you think the Buddha didn't fail? Before he becomes the Buddha, when he was the Bodhisattva, he failed many times, right? He spent 6 years of time trying to find this Buddhahood, right? Trying to find this enlightenment. But finally he failed, right? He tried many things like self-mortification, these harsh meditations. But finally he realized that I cannot achieve this enlightenment through these hardships. Then he thought, now I must change my plan. I must change the way I am doing. That is what Buddha thought. But he did not give up his dream. He did not give up his goal. Instead, he changed the plan. So you can change your plan. You can change the way you are doing, right? But do not give up your dream. You will fail, you will fall, you will have to suffer in this life. That is the life, but do not give up the dream. Right? If you're a student, if you're having the life challenges, never give up. Change the way you're doing. It's okay, you can do that, right? So that is what you have to do. And the final thing that I have to say is, do not be afraid to fail. Because failure teaches us many things, many lessons. It teaches us what not to do. It teaches us how to be patient. It teaches us you're a human and you will fail. It teaches us how to be humble. There are many lessons that we can learn from failure. But when you win all the time, if there is the victory all the time in your life, you will never learn many things. Instead, it will feed your ego. So, keep it in your mind. Do not be afraid to fail, but be afraid to not to try. So keep these things in your mind and practice and be happy in your life. Namo Buddhaya.
I know it is very difficult to forget the past memories. I know it is very difficult to forgive yourself for the things that you have done in the past. But at the end of our life, at the end of our day, what we all need is nothing but just the peace in our mind. But in order to find that peace, we need to let go of that past memory. Let go of that things that hurt us. But how? Is there a way to find that peacefulness within our mind? Well, let's discuss about it in this video. If you look at the past memories, I heard this nice quote about the past memories. It says, thinking about and worrying about past is like dragging a boat on a dry land. Okay? Now, where we can use the boat, we can use it on water. But if you try to drag that boat onto dry land and take it with you to wherever you go, what will happen to you? It will become a burden to you. It will hurt you. It is so heavy. And there is no use in the same place, right? You cannot use the boat on the dry land. Okay? Holding on to past memories is also like that, right? There's no use of it, right? We are not letting that past memory to be in the correct place, but taking it to wherever we go and every place that we go, and it will keep hurting us. So what we can do to forgive ourselves and let go of that past memory? Well, there are certain things that you can do. One of the most important things that you have to realize in this world is that not everything in this world is totally under our control. There are people around you, okay? There are things around you. There are certain things that is happening around you, but not everything, not every one of them is totally under your control, okay? We have to deal with it, but it is not out, it is out of our control. How people treat you, you cannot do anything about it. How people think about you, you have no control over it. How people talk to you, how people behave in front of you, the things that is happening in this environment, in the nature, there are things that is out of our control, okay? If we try and if you realize that this is the truth, okay, I cannot do anything about it, should I worry about them? Then you come to the conclusion that I don't want to worry about it because it is out of my range. Okay? So this is one reality that you have to understand. The world is not totally under your control. Why? Because we are so busy in our life trying to control the things that are around ourselves that are out of our control. Okay? So realize that not everything is under your control. And the next thing that you have to do is, this might surprise you. Now, a lot of people are trying to forget the past memory. Okay? I would say, don't try to forget past memories. Okay? Don't try to do it. What will happen if you try to do it? The more you try to forget something, the more it will haunt your mind. Isn't that true? Just do it practically, right? Try to forget something, it will come back to your mind. Okay? I would say, rather than trying to forget the past memory, I would say, let it fade away from your life. Okay? Let it fade away. How to do it? Fading away is happening with time. Okay? It takes time. It's something like healing a wound. Okay? To heal a wound, it takes time. Okay? So what we have to do is, we have to give less attention to that memory. Okay? Now, most of the time, what happens in us is, when past memories haunt us, we give so much attention to it. We give so much awareness to it and think like, this is the biggest tragedy in my life. This is the biggest mistake that I have done in my life. Now my life is worse. Okay? The more we give attention to something, it will grow. That is the nature of the mind. The Buddha said, the more you give attention to something, these kind of thoughts come again and again to your mind. So what we have to do is give less attention to it. But how? Okay? Now, so many of you say it is very easy for you to say that give less attention to it. But it is very difficult. I know, it is very difficult. But there's one thing that we can do. We can identify that thought as a thought. Okay? Let's say these past memories, they are always the thoughts inside our mind. Okay? And also there are certain good memories and happy memories. All of them are just thoughts. Okay? The only difference between these hurtful memories, past memories, and the good memories is the way we look at that thought. Okay, the perspective towards that thought. If we can identify, this is just a thought, there's no difference. Okay, it will come to our mind and this will fade away and this will pass away with the time. So I must give some time to my mind to let my mind heal. When you do that, the past memories will start to fade away little by little. Why? Because you are giving less attention to it. Okay? Then there will be a day that comes, then you come to a conclusion and you will realize that these past memories are no longer hurting you. Okay? In my life, I had bad memories. Okay? The reason why I'm telling this is because I've been in the same situation as you guys. Okay? There was so many past bad memories and mistakes that I have done in the past, but when we give less attention to that, it will fade away. Okay? Then you will be okay with those past memories. So that is what I have to share with you in this video. So just let your past memories fade away from your life. Learn from your past, learn from your tears, and let your tears water the seeds of your future success. Keep that in your mind.
Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Today we are going to talk about how to deal with past memories. They are the memories that holding us back and destroying our present moment and our future. So how can we deal with these past memories? First of all, I will tell you a nice story. In the Buddhist time, there was a murderer. Now, he wasn't just a murderer, he was a serial killer. He killed thousands and thousands of people. And do you know what he did to those dead people? He cut a finger from each one of them and he made a garland out of that fingers. And he wore that garland around his neck. So his name was Angulimala, the person who wears the garland of fingers. With the help of the great Supreme Buddha, he became an innocent person again. Before becoming a serial killer, he was just an innocent boy. But with the bad companionship, he became a serial killer. So with the Buddha's help, he became an innocent person again, and he became a monk. After that, he realized the teachings of the Buddha and he became enlightened. The reason for his enlightenment was he did not let his past to define who he is, right? He did not regret about what he has done in the past. Instead, he focused on the present moment. The Buddha advised Angulimala, after becoming a monk, think of yourself as a newly born person, a new person, and do not let your past to define who you are. So he did meditations and he practiced the path of the Buddha and he became enlightened. So that was the little story. So what we can take from this little story? If you're holding onto the past and if you're letting your past to define who you are, right, you will never be the person who you want to be. So remember, mistakes can happen by anyone. We make mistakes. That is why we are known as humans. Okay? So mistakes can happen. Even the good people make mistakes. That doesn't mean that they need to suffer and they need to regret about the things for the whole life. Right? We make mistakes, and what we have to do, we have to focus on the present moment. Think of yourself, now I have done a mistake in the past, but now what should I do to become a good person? When you think of that, you're focusing on the present moment. That is what you have to do. Every time you're regretting about the past memories, the things that has happened in the past, you are touching the wound of yourself. You know, the miserable moments that has happened in the past is like a wound. It takes time to heal. So if you keep on touching into that wound, it will never be healed. So what you have to do? Should you forget the past? Of course not. You should not forget the past. And you cannot forget the past. Remember, the more you try to forget the past, the more it will haunt your memories again and again. So what you have to do? You have to let your miserable and painful past memories to just fade away from your life, right? So to do that, you should not give much attention to the past miserable, painful memories, right? When we are not giving any attention to something, chances are very high for it to fade away from our memories. So what you have to do, just do not give any attention to those past memories, okay? And that is why our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us in Bhaddekaratta Sutta, Atitang nanva gameya nappati kanke anagatang. Do not dwell on the past. Nappati kanke anagatang. Do not dream too much on the future. Yadatitang pahinatang appattancha anagatang. The past has gone now. It is over. And the future hasn't yet come. And Buddha said, Paccupannancha yo dhammang tattha tattha vipassati. You have to focus on the present moment and do what is right here, right now. So do not let the past to define who you are, and focus on the present moment and think, what can I do to become a better person now? Admit your faults. Learn from your past. Do not make it a wound and a painful situation. Just learn from it, right? And then you can think, what should I do to become a better person right here, right now? Right? When you do the good things and when you do the right thing in the present moment, your past will be a good one and your future will be also a good one. So what you have to do, you only own this present moment. Always keep it in your mind, right? The moment that you only own is this moment, right? In the past, what has happened in the past, you cannot control it. What is going to happen in the future, you have no control about that. What you have in your hand is this present moment. So focus on the present moment, do the good things, be a good person, and your future will be a better one. Your past will be a better one also. So practice the Buddha's teachings and stay in the present moment. Namo Buddhaya.